It ends Aston Villa 2, Spurs 1. Awful 4 days for Spurs, exiting 2 cup competitions. I hope to win a trophy this season. Solely rely on the Europa League. Play like this, it's highly unlikely. The pressure's piling on Postecoglou. I can't see him surviving this one. Pressure on the hierarchy. Daniel Levy, Enoch, etc. And rightly so. I think the board. So stay tuned to the very end as we discuss everything. There's a lot to dissect, get the teeth into. Very keen as always to get your thoughts. So make sure you are staying tuned to the end. What is happening back, people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're keeping well. If you're new around here, please do like and subscribe and do get involved in the comments below. But as Aston Villa 2, Spurs 1, really disappointing. As I said in the intro, poor 4 days at the club, exiting 2 competitions, 2 spineless performances. Obviously that result at Anfield in our biggest game of the season, not what we wanted. Really poor performance from the players that lacked character, lacked fight. You could question whether they're fit to wear the shirt, whether they played for the badge or not. And we needed that response today, expected that result. Didn't expect us to get anything from the game necessary, didn't expect us to go through, but you expect a response. And we didn't see that until probably the second half, latter stages of the first half. And that isn't acceptable. What's Postecoglou said to the players before the game. But in the FA Cup, our record is just been absolutely shocking since our semi-final in 2018. 2019 got to the fourth round, 2020 fifth round. 21st, fifth round, 22nd, fifth round, 23rd, fifth round, 24th, fourth round under Ange Postecoglou, and fifth round again under Ange. Only got to the fourth round. So that's, really poor. And I listened to Ange post-match. He sounded really downbeat and broken. And for me, I think this is the end for him. I don't think there is any way back. And, for me, I'd be willing to sack him tonight. That's something that I haven't said at all yet. I just think, he's out of his depth, and we should be doing more, even despite our injuries. I've been behind him because of those injuries, but it just can't go on for this long now. It's just absolutely crazy. However, I think no manager is going to succeed under these ownership, under these owners, and just the way that we go about things, buying cheap, putting profit over glory, exploiting fans. There's just a load of things, because it's a cycle at Spurs, you see. That's the problem. It's a continuous cycle. It's about how you end it of, new managers appointed. Oh, it's going to be a rebuild. It's going to take time. This time's different. Give Levy, Enoch one more chance. That new manager starts well. We'll get behind it, understandably, as fans. Everything's okay. The noise about the ownership and the board are parked to a side. The experience of new manager bounce like Ange did last season. Then we start to lose games, and we cope with it for a while. We go, okay, give him another season. And then after a while, we can continue losing. Then eventually that manager is sacked or relieved of their duties. And the cycle starts again. So it's about how you end the cycle. For me, this has to 100% be on the ownership. Let's use Aston Villa as a perfect comparison here under Unai Emery. When he took over, what were they, 17th, 18th, I think 17th, a couple of points above the drop, if I remember correctly, under Steven Gerrard. And now, playing Champions League football, absolutely cruising. We'll definitely get European football of some kind this season, and they're signing big and etc. Blah blah blah. He's done a really good job with them, but that's what happens when you back a manager. You give them time, and yes, I know money's been spent for Postecoglou, but the difference is with clubs like Villa is the big names. Let's use January as an example. Marcus Rashford and Asensio, 2 big names. And we're always about signing players for the future, which is all good, or loan here and there, and just players for the future. And it just nothing being spent on wage. We know that the owners would have been celebrating in the summer when the wage bill was reduced. Whereas for me, it's simply unforgivable when you go into a season with a thinner squad, with Europe than you did the season before without Europe. Make that make sense? It doesn't. It's as simple as that. And yes, he makes mistake after mistake. I get that. The lineup was poor tonight. He's got the midfield wrong once again. Took too long to change it. For example, should have bought Bentancur off earlier. Son, I think he's finished. Looks really poor. Why is he still in the team? I think Ange's hands are tied in lots of ways, but he doesn't help himself. He's stubborn. But it won't hurt Postecoglou sacking him and or not winning any trophy. It will be Spurs again because Mourinho wins everywhere he goes. Doesn't win at Tottenham. Same for Antonio Conte. It looks like it'll be the same for Postecoglou. Players leave Tottenham and they win trophies. Latest will be Harry Kane this season. What are Bayern 6 points clear now? He'll win a trophy with them. Every player, good or bad for us. Same with manager. They leave Spurs and they win a trophy. And it isn't a coincidence anymore. It's this ownership and the way they go about business. As I said, profit over glory. There's no intent. There's no ambition. And the way we recruit. And bringing in young players is really important. And I'm really excited about the future. Let's make that very, very clear. And Daniel Levy and the owners have done a lot off the pitch, should be with the community, with the new stadium, on the financial side. Absolutely fantastic. And they deserve their credit for that. You sing their praises. But when it comes to the football side, atrocious. It's broken promise after broken promise. It's lie after lie. It's continuous cycle after continuous cycle. And we have to put an end to that. And we've got an opportunity as fans to unite, to come together next weekend with that change for Tottenham protests, that march before the game and different things they're doing. So make sure to check them out on all socials. But on this game in particular, you have to also give credit to Aston Villa. I thought they were good. And, you know, they played really well. And you have to give them credit for that. By far the better team. The scoreline, you know, isn't fair on Aston Villa because they were dominant. They're the better team. On a positive note, it was good to see Tell score on his debut. That's what happens when you put a ball in the box. But today, disappointing performance for a lot of players. I think it says a lot when someone who punched the ball into their own net, in the goalkeeper in Kinski, when he's your man of the match, and that says something about the team, don't you, that we're pretty poor. Credit to Aston Villa, but Spurs, awful. Pressure will be on Postecoglou, rightly so. Pressure will be on the owners, rightly so. But, you know, relieve Ange Postecoglou, not a lot will change apart from a new manager bounce, players start to come back. We improve a little bit, maybe get into the top half. That's about it. It's these same players who are alive, but a lot of them aren't good enough. They're very average. You have to start going. What players will get into other top six sides? That's you know, it won't take you long because there isn't many. There's no world-class players in this team, and we're hanging on to players that are finished in their career, like, you know, Son, and we're hanging on to players that aren't good enough. Basuma, Bentancur, they aren't consistent enough. And injuries have been Postecoglou's, you know, the reason why we struggled under Postecoglou, absolutely. But I just think enough is enough now. And I think we do need to relieve him of duties now we've left these two cup competitions. Well, I think he's ultimately in the job. But yeah, it's been a horrible week for the club, anyone associated with. But as always, do get involved in the comments below. That's how I feel at the moment. I haven't felt this strongly about the ownership, about the board, about anything to do with it we discussed the day before. But it's just enough is enough now. And I don't want my club to be taken away any longer. But if you want to follow me, you can at HarryScuff22, but do like and subscribe to the channel. Turn the notifications bell on for Spurs and England content. But for now, a massive come on you Spurs. Let's hope, you know, it's a better week next week. Only one game.